This video goes over me trying to find a buddy of mine out in Island Park. What I thought was going to be a pretty normal ride ended up being a lot more than that. I am working with local law enforcement. We're going to go over some of the things that they're allowing me to say at this time. Plus, we're going to go over things that maybe you guys can help us with. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm up at Bear Gulch, up kind of by Island Park, and I know that my buddy David rented out a cabin up the mountain a little bit. And I don't know where he is, but I know they're out riding somewhere, so I came out. I'm gonna try to find him. I got the little $100 Jag in the back, and we're gonna see if we can track him down. This tunnel that you're seeing here is going to be very important in a second. So here you see me coming up on the opposite side of the tunnel. This would be the exit coming from the way that I am. When I come up on it, I notice that it seems pretty smoky. It seems like you can probably see some of the smoke in the air. Leave a comment on what you guys think about that. When I came across the smoke, I figured maybe somebody was just having a little campfire, roasting some hot dogs nearby. I wasn't sure if it was really coming from inside the tunnel or not, but it turns out it was. A couple days later, I ended up seeing some articles and some posts by the Forest Service saying that there was a crime that was committed here, some arsony. I may have been one of the first people to come across the fire when it actually started in the tunnel. It's crazy to think that I may have been one of the last people to see the tunnel still standing. As I kept going, I ended up coming across a couple people on the trail about 50 yards down from the tunnel. This guy here, he's throwing up a gang sign. They were hiking, didn't have any gear with them really. No snowmobiles, just street clothes and boots. If anybody knows these people, please have them reach out, leave some comments below. They might be able to get us more information about what was going on in the fire. Anyways, I continue on my mission, ripping through the trails looking for David. As I go by, we reach another group of people about 100 yards now from the tunnel. Same situation here. They might have been part of the group altogether, or they might be completely separate. If anybody knows any of them, please let us know. Put in the comments who might know the most and who is rocking the best sunglasses. Like I said, I didn't really think a whole lot of it. Just kept going. I was on a mission to find David, and so I was ripping. At some point along the trail, I ended up having some issues. I started losing a little bit of power, and my motor just kept getting louder and louder, so I ended up pulling over and trying to diagnose what was going on. Which isn't engaging all the way. You can tell if you look right here, it's all shiny here, and then it starts to not be so shiny. It's probably because the weights in my clutch in here and the rollers are probably wearing out. But I'd get more top end if I could get that to close, and then the same thing over here for this guy. But it kind of just seems like this guy's way loose. This belt is getting pretty toasted. Maybe that's part of my problem. But the secondary is also loose, so we're gonna take a gander at both. If you look here, the belt is like ripping in half. I do have one spare. And I'm glad I'm catching it now, because this thing is getting toasted. Okay. And then the secondary is being kind of weird. So, a couple things need to happen. Gotta figure out where this notch goes. Okay, so that's back in. Then we gotta put our spacer back in. And then I think this thing has way too many washers on it, because it's allowing this thing to play in and out. So I think if I take off maybe 2 washers, we might be in a little bit better situation. I don't see a problem with a little play, but that was a lot of play, and I don't feel like that is very helpful. This clutch is a little grooved out too. This thing probably just needs some maintenance. But you can't really blame it. $100 Jag. I could change out my springs too. Belt I have. Oh, that's 1,000 times better. Okay. So, the way you do it on these old Jags, I'm gonna get the primary on first. Bring it around. It's pretty easy. You kind of just put it on and just roll the thing. But they're a little directional. You can see the arrows on here. If you want to spin forward, it's got to go that way. So, arrows facing the front of the motor. Okay, let's see how it is. That's probably another reason I'm not getting up to speed very good, is because I'm probably losing a lot on my exhaust. So what I'd like to do is try to bend this. Oh, just like that. Okay. Help keep this on, and hopefully help keep my exhaust in place. It was getting really loud. Kind of makes sense now.
was getting loud and wasn't going very fast. This little girl only has a few miles on her, but she was definitely not taken care of very well. But I guess that's how you end up with one for cheap. Okay.
Well, I didn't end up finding David out on the trail. I ended up doing about 40 miles of trail that day. Went all the way into Last Chance. Couldn't find him anywhere. I did, however, end up droning all the way into the cabin. Caught a little glimpse of it. Ended up seeing some of their sleds out there. Eventually, I ended up going down into the cabin, and they served us some delicious enchiladas. When I got back to the cabin, I'd also found that my skid was slightly bent, and so sometimes throughout the video you'll hear it grinding. And anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. That helps me out a lot. I am still working with the local law enforcement, so if you have any information, please let us know.